1660, and Elizabeth I has been on the throne for 2 years. Preparations are being made for her visit to the palace on one of her many progresses.
The palace is almost ready for the arrival of our new queen. We must now check and dust the portrait gallery.
They see that Queen Elizabeth has the red hair of our father. Just look at King Henry here. What a terrifying man. He was so cruel. I just hope her red hair is not a sign of ill temper.
Then dust her father's portrait, poor you might find out. She is sure to want to study it closely.
I heard he was slender and handsome when he was a young man.
And talented too.
He even wrote music.
And a great sportsman. How he loved his tennis.
Yes, but look what happened when he became king. Everyone was terrified to put a foot wrong, and he certainly made sure he got his own way.
The handsome prince turned into a ruthless king. Prince Henry, he was handsome. Prince Henry, he was fit. Prince Henry, he was spoiled, just a teeny weeny bit. Prince Henry, he spoke Latin. Prince Henry, he could ride. Prince Henry, he played tennis quite well when he did try. Prince Henry, he loved numbers. Prince Henry, he wrote tunes. Prince Henry, he would study the skies, the stars, the moon. Prince Henry, he was crowded. Prince Henry, he was king. The temper of King Henry, it How his poor wife suffered.
And what a shock when he broke away from the Church of Rome and made himself head of his new church.
Life certainly changed during Henry's rule.
But wait a minute, there was a good reason for what I did. I urgently needed an heir to my throne. I needed a wife who could give me a family of fine, strong sons, but my wives were useless. Catherine of Aragon was my first one. No one can say I gave up her without giving her a fair chance.
This is a fine portrait of Catherine of Aragon. Just look how long she was married to Henry. That was before all the troubles with the church began.
Before I was married to Henry, I was married to his brother, Arthur, but Arthur died. I married Henry the year he became king. He was such a handsome prince and only 18. We were married for more than 20 years, but the only child I had was Mary. Henry was very disappointed, and so was I. Eventually, he could stand it no longer. He divorced me and married her. At that time, everyone in England was Roman Catholic, and divorce was not allowed. The Pope would not let Henry break the rules of the church and divorce Catherine of Aragon.
So Henry formed a brand new church, made himself the head of it, and called it the Church of England. He then gave himself permission to divorce and remarry.
Henry closed the monasteries and took their wealth. Priests were made to change to his new church where they were put to death.
For the first time, the Bible was written in English instead of Latin. And so was the Lord's Prayer. This pleased the common people, so they could understand the words for the first time.
This is wife number 2, pretty little Anne Boleyn. I was a new courtier in Henry and Catherine's court when Henry fell in love with me. I wasn't surprised that he fell for me, and did find me very attractive. We were married straight after the divorce, and I knew that I had to give him a son, but all I managed was another daughter, Elizabeth, your new queen. Then it went all wrong. Henry accused me of encouraging other men to admire me. Well, it was not my fault that I was so attractive, as I have said, but he was so angry, he had me beheaded. Not a nice experience, I can assure you.
Yes, she's also a head
him a warning to us all.
And now we have number 3, Jane Seymour.
Dear Henry married me next, and I gave him that longed-for son and heir. I was so proud. We called him Edward. But then I fell sick, and my darling son was only 12 days old. I died. I'm sorry I can't go on.
Oh dear.
Here we have wife number 4, Anne of Cleves.
Henry still wanted a good childbearing wife, but he sent courtiers to search all over Europe for a new queen, and they came to Germany and found me. Henry and I had never even met before I came to England to marry him. What a disaster that marriage was. We really didn't like each other at all. Henry spoke many languages, but not mine, of course, and I spoke no English. It made him very impatient, and he was not at all nice to me. I hear he referred to me as a horse behind my back. We were soon divorced, and I really was not sorry, I can tell you.
Oops, it wasn't a love match then. Wife number 5 was Catherine Howard.
I was Anne Boleyn's cousin. Poor girl, I followed her in footsteps and took my place at court. Before that, I was secretly engaged to be married, but nobody was supposed to know about it at court, especially not the king. Henry asked me to marry him, and I was flattered. I was still very young, in my teens in fact. But after we had married, someone gave my secret away, and Henry had me beheaded. He was mad with jealousy. I should have known better than to trust him.
To think she went into that marriage knowing what happened to Anne Boleyn. Was she a brave lady or a foolish girl? Here we have wife number 6, Catherine Parr.
The king needed yet another wife and decided that it should be me. I was a bit nervous, I must say, but it was safer to agree. You never knew what might happen if you crossed the king. I had been married before, twice in fact, but both my husbands died. I became more of a nurse than a wife, and I looked after poor sick Henry until he died. He had very bad legs and was dreadfully overweight, not the fit, handsome man he used to be, but at least I outlived him.
I was not all bad, you know. I founded grammar schools and I reformed religion. Many of the monasteries were corrupt, and it was not also fantastically good when the church was under the rule of the Pope. I became defender of the faith, and I also defended my country very well. I founded the Royal Navy, and my ships and men were feared throughout the world.
And here we have a picture of the crew of the Mary Rose, Henry's favourite ship.
We'll drink to that.
God bless the King!
The Mary Rose was the flagship of the Royal Fleet, built of finest English oak, a magnificent warship.
Many were the battles we fought the king, and we always came back triumphant.
Until that fateful day in 1545, we were anchored with the fleet of Portsmouth, ready to do battle with the French in the Solent. King Henry came to watch the battle from Southsea Castle.
We weighed the anchor and the fleet set sail. The conditions were good, so we were sure of the victory.
The ship was fitted with heavy cannons on each side, primed and ready to fire on the French ships. The order was given, and the first sight of the cannons faced the French.
Then the order was given to turn the ship and fire the cannons on the other side. We started to obey the order, and all hell was let loose. The ship began to take in water. We were sinking right before the eyes of King Henry himself.
There was shouting and hollering, and the air was thick with gunpowder. Some of us jumped, some of us went down with the ship. Most of those on board died that day, only a few survived.
And some of us here knew thought it was too. An officer who was standing not too far from me forgot to give the order to close the gun ports after firing the first every cannon. So as we closed the ship tilted and water started pouring into the gun.
How dare you? That is a downright lie. The gun ports were closed. I swear it.
Mystery has never been solved to this day, in hearties. Why did the Mary Rose sink?
And now we have our new Queen Elizabeth to reign over us. She is too building up a magnificent fleet of ships.
They say she will send explorers across the oceans to where no man has ever been before.
It's the dawn of a new age.
And here we are talking about days gone by when we should be paying attention to our duties. The Queen will be here in 10 minutes.
Back into your pictures, all of you. Back to the past where you belong.
We must go. The Queen's carriage is at the gate.
The cause of the sinking of the Mary Rose has never been truly understood. But in 1982, the wreck of King Henry's warship was raised from the waters of Solent and can be visited today.
Edward VI became king after Henry. He was only 10 years old and not very strong. He died when he was only 15, but during his reign he founded Bluecoat schools for the poor. Children still attend these schools today.
Queen Mary came to the throne next for a short while. She was called Bloody Mary because she put many Protestants to death in an attempt to bring everyone back to the Roman Catholic Church.
Then came Queen Elizabeth I, whose long and exciting reign is another story to be told.
We have enjoyed learning about the Tudors and hope that you have learned something new about them today.
Thank you very much indeed for SW, and thank you, Miss Williams. What a very interesting assembly. It's always fantastic. I must have done this about 35 times now since school age, and every single time I find something else I didn't know. What a wonderful assembly. Thank you very much indeed. Children, I will come and see you later with headmasters and all. The portraits, you can relax. And can I just say that Maisie hasn't been demoted from Year 6, but Lottie was poorly today, so Maisie's still on. So thank you very much.